I wanted to talk about prepping for after the coming dollar crisis. You see, I work for a living, but I don't want to work for somebody else the rest of my life. There were some people who saw the Great Depression coming and prepared themselves. The Great Depression created more millionaires than any other point in American history. I believe the Greater Depression will create even more. I recommend to buy silver. Silver and gold are a store of wealth. In a sense, you don't make or lose money on silver. As the Fed prints money out of thin air, they create inflation. Inflation is not rising prices. Inflation is the expansion of the money supply, which in turn causes prices to rise. Now, they can't tell you this. They've got to call it quantitative easing or stimulus. So, it's the same thing. They shoot up the prices of everything, the stock market. But gas and grocery went up too. For example, a silver quarter in 1963 could buy you a gallon and a half of gas, about. It's worth $7 now today, roughly. It can still get you the same amount of gas. A silver dime could get you a gallon of milk back in 1964. Today, $3, it can still get you that gallon of milk. You don't make or lose. You hedge. It stores your purchasing power. As the Fed keeps interest rates low to print money and buy their own bonds, they weaken the dollar. It takes more dollars to buy the exact same thing. So foreign nations will demand higher interest rates. If they get weaker dollars, they want more of them. But it can't work forever. If they raise interest rates, the economy will crash. It's just a matter of time. You can't fix borrowing and spending forever. Now, silver, I believe, has a huge growth potential. Only 10% of the silver market is actually physical silver. The rest is ETFs, IOUs on future silver to be mined. So if 10% of the market is physical silver, I believe it's about 10% of the actual price. Silver is rare, and it has more uses than virtually any other metal on earth. And we use it, we don't recycle it. So as it becomes more and more rare, I believe it will become more valuable than gold someday. Now, why hedge your money? As Americans become more poorer and poorer, you'll have less competition. We'll need businesses, but you're going to need capital. You need some real assets to open up a business. You can't just go to the bank and ask for credit. You need something real. What would you do? You could open a repair shop. As Americans have a lower standard of living, there'll be no credit, no savings to fall on. It'll be wiped out through inflation. Instead of getting things brand new, they'll have to have things fixed. Like when I was a kid. If the TV or VCR broke, we took it to a repair shop. You couldn't just buy a new one. This will be on everything. TVs, computers, everything from lawnmowers to TV or to cars. Of course, gas may be a bit too expensive. It'll be people on bicycles and motorcycles like the rest of the world. But no matter, you need capital to start up the shop. Or you could buy property. As the real estate market is being propped up artificially, it's going to come down. As precious metals are being held down, they'll come up. So what happens? You could buy property, buy a duplex. You could live on one side, rent out the other, use the rent money to buy another duplex. As Americans become poor, there'll be plenty of people happy to bunch up with another family and live in a duplex. They've got a roof over their head at least. In the Depression, several families lived in the same house. A 4-room house, 1 room, 1 family. Or you could open a pawn shop. Back in the day, it was like a bank. Without being able to print money out of thin air to ensure bank deposits, people in the U.S. will have to be more responsible. You can't just loan money to people unless they have collateral. If you can't get it from the bank, what would you do back then? Like you do in the future. You go to a pawn shop. You bring in goods. They loan you money. If you don't pay them back, they keep it. They sell your goods and they make their money back. If you do, you pay them back with a little bit of interest. And if you don't open a shop, buy a rent property, you can invest money on somebody that will for a slice of the cake. Silver has been money for thousands of years. It's been just another commodity for 40.